Hello, this is Sameer for ThinkDigit.com, and today we are taking a look at the Huawei Ascend G300 phone. This is an Android smartphone and it is priced at Rs 10,000. At a first look at the device, and it looks like your standard average run-of-the-mill Android smartphone. It has a 4-inch display. A very good thing about the display is that it is an IPS display, which means it's really bright, vibrant and crisp, and you can even look at the display in direct sunlight and is susceptible to less glare when compared to the other displays. The resolution, however, is the standard resolution that we find on other smartphones, which is 480 by 800. In its build, it's a device that is quite well built. It is about 140 grams in weight. It's a little heavier than other devices in the same category, but this is a good thing. It's well built. It's got a plastic back, but it feels slightly metalish, which it isn't. It's plastic, but it's good plastic. The device is well built. Under the 4-inch display, you have the standard array of buttons, which is the menu, home and back. These are the standard touch sensitive buttons we find on an Android device. On the left here we have the volume rocker, above we have the headphones jack and the on-off button, and at the bottom we have the micro USB port, which is used for charging as well as data transfer. There is no front-facing camera on the device, which means you cannot have a video chat session on it, but it does have a 5-megapixel rear camera with a flash, which is nice. There is no physical shutter button on the device. This is missed if you are one who likes to take a lot of pictures with your phone, but the on-screen interface of the camera app is quite simple, and it's probably one of the most basic interfaces that Android has with its camera app on devices. Under the hood, the device is powered by a 1 GHz processor, has the Adreno 200 GPU, and has 512 MB of RAM. In terms of storage, it has only 4 GB of internal storage, out of which 2.5 GB is available to the user, but you can expand it up to 32 GB with a micro SD card. The operating system on the device is Android 2.3 Gingerbread. The phone is upgradable to 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, but the update is not available as of reviewing this device. In terms of its performance, the device is a mixed bag. It comes preloaded with a skin, which Huawei calls the Huawei launcher. Now, from the lock screen, which is as interesting as probably the HTC Sense, you have easy access to 4 options. So you could simply dial the lock screen up to go to your call logs directly, or you could swipe down to go to the camera, right to go to the home screen, and left to go to your messages. It's a very nice and easy way to access certain apps that you use on a more frequent basis, which is something that we've seen on the HTC Sense and some of the other launchers. The rest of the launcher, however, is a tad disappointing. As you can see, it has a pretty laggy performance considering the device has a 1 GHz processor under the hood. You have the option of 5 customizable home screens on which you can put widgets and a lot of apps. The app lister too is quite simple in its appearance. We did, however, install Launcher Pro, which is a third-party free launcher, and Launcher Pro improved the smoothness and the overall performance of the device quite considerably. So another interesting feature of the phone is the keyboard. Now the keyboard has a standard QWERTY layout, but there are 3 options of the keyboard which you can simply access by swiping. If you aren't used to the QWERTY style of a keyboard and are used to the more traditional 3 alphabets per key which you find on other simple phones, you can just swipe left and you have that option of a keyboard as well. The phone offers a third option for the keyboard, swipe again, and you have 2-letter per key layout. The option of 3 keyboard layouts is nice. It works well in landscape as well as portrait mode, and the keyboard is quite comfortable to type on. Another nifty feature of the keyboard, which is something what we find on the HTC Sense, is if you could long press a certain key, it gives you options. In the Sense UI, you long press a key and it would go to the special character, which would probably be a question mark or something else. In this interface, you just swipe down slightly on the key and you get the special character appearing on screen. It's different from what we're used to. It takes a bit of getting used to while typing on the keyboard, but it's a nice feature on the device. Despite the fact that the device has an IPS display, it didn't play all the video content that we threw at it. We put a bunch of MP4s, MOVs. These are in HD, some 1080p, some 720p, and the videos just did not run on the inbuilt app. We installed a third-party app, and when we tried to play it,
You're a wanted man, Peter Parker. I don't believe what the police are saying, do you?
As you can notice, the audio just died on its own, and the performance of the video playing back on the screen is really laggy. This is, however, an HD video, so we really weren't expecting it to run very well. We do, however, have an AVI movie that we played on the device, and it ran really well. Navigating on the timeline was smooth. Navigating on the timeline is also quite smooth. There is a very little lag and the movie plays back really well. As you can probably hear, the audio from the device too is loud, crisp and very clear. The onboard speaker of the device is really nice.
Please, put me in the doghouse, a madhouse, even a house of pancakes, anywhere but the lamp. Oh, and here!
The device has a 1500 mAh battery. In our tests of regular use, everyday use, where we did a bit of social networking, calling, messaging, staying on Wi-Fi for most of the day, downloading apps, the device lasted us for almost 2 days, which is really good. The web browsing experience on the device too is quite good considering the nature of the display. Text appears crisp and you can really zoom in to read it. It's comfortable to read and the device performs quite good as an internet browsing experience. We navigated a couple of websites, saw a few videos and read a couple of articles online on the device, and it displayed content really well, really easily. So for a sub 15K phone, the product isn't really bad, but it isn't the best in the market either. The device has a fantastic screen and the battery life is really good at 2 days, and the fact that it will get the ice cream sandwich update is a plus point. But for 15,000 rupees, you do have other good options available in the market. The Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro is a smartphone that will cost you about 15,000 rupees, has a 3-inch display but also has a physical keyboard. If you're looking for a device that's a little more rugged and can sustain a few drops, you might be interested in taking a look at the Motorola Defy Plus. It runs on 2.3 Gingerbread and won't be upgradable, but it is a good phone nonetheless. But if you are still interested in a phone with an IPS display that's going to look vibrant every time you use it, then yes, you can consider taking a look at the Huawei Ascend G300.